I just got back from a trip to Amsterdam and Warsaw, two cities that once felt like chapters in a book I hadn't read in years. I lived in both for 6 months each, back when I was just starting out my career and also trying to figure out who I was. Coming back now felt like revisiting an old story, but seeing it with new eyes. This vlog isn't just about these cities. It's about what time does to places and what it does to us when we return to them. First stop, Amsterdam. We landed at Schiphol and found our Airbnb, a tiny place with stairs that felt more like a ladder than steps. There's a paradox to Amsterdam, a city that's both chaotic and calm. Bikes weaving through crowds, cars inching forward, people navigating narrow streets, yet somehow it all feels serene. Maybe it's because everything is out in the open. People visible, unguarded, moving at their own pace. It's a city that's constantly in motion without feeling rushed. Amsterdam is one of those cities that seems almost too charming to be real. Canals, brick buildings, people cruising by on bikes. There's this undercurrent that's harder to define. It's a city known for being liberal, open about things like drugs and sex work, yet people go about their day in this calm, almost detached way. It's not just liberal in policy, it's liberal in spirit. A city where life is out in the open, where no one seems to judge, and everyone's just moving at their own pace. The Dutch seem to have mastered that balance. Structure without suffocation, freedom without chaos. There's an ease here that feels almost intentional. The next day we did a canal tour, one of those things that's supposed to be for tourists, but actually felt necessary this time. Sitting there on the boat, with the city drifting by in slow motion, I couldn't help but think about all the time I'd spent rushing through places like this, always moving too quickly to really see them. But from the water, everything slows down. You're watching life happen without being caught up in it. And that stillness made me realize how many moments I'd sped through that were actually meant to be savored. You know, when I lived here, I never visited Heineken. Back then, it was all about wine, the kind of person who didn't even give beer a second thought. Now, standing here happily with a glass in hand, it was like I was seeing the city from a different angle, noticing things I hadn't before. It's funny how your perspective shifts, not just on the obvious stuff, but on like the little things you thought weren't for you. Maybe that's the thing about coming back to a place you once knew. You're not just seeing it again, you're seeing it differently. The MOCO Museum felt like a jolt in a city that's otherwise so composed. Amsterdam is serene. Slow-moving canals, historic buildings, people coasting by on bikes. But beneath that calm exterior, there is an edge. The city is known for openness, from its liberal drug policies to the red light district, a place that doesn't shy away from what other places might keep hidden. And MOCO fits right into that contrast. The art is bold, unfiltered, almost abrasive, the opposite of Amsterdam's postcard-perfect image. But that's the point. It's a reminder that even in a city that feels calm and composed, there's always something beneath the surface, challenging you to look closer. The me who wandered through the city years ago, back then, I moved through Amsterdam like a teenager, eyes wide open, wondering what life would look like years down the road. Now, I walk those same streets with a clear sense of who I am. But I can still see her, that version of me who is caught up in the questions, the uncertainty, the endless possibilities. Maybe that's what revisiting a place does. It's not just about seeing what's changed. It's about recognizing the pieces of yourself you left behind, the parts you outgrew, and the parts you're still carrying with you. From Amsterdam, we flew to Warsaw. When I first found out I was moving here back in 2017, I was intimidated. Even the name felt heavy. Warsaw, a city that literally means a city that saw war. I pictured gray buildings, cold streets, and a place weighed down by its own history. But what I found was completely different. Warsaw is thriving, vibrant, and quietly confident. A city that's been rebuilt from the ground up, but hasn't erased what it's been through. It's a place that wears its history openly, reminding you that survival isn't always loud. Sometimes, it just looks like moving forward. Warsaw is a city that's hard to pin down. You have the old town, all cobblestones and pastel buildings that look like they belong in a fairy tale. Then, just a few streets away, you have this sleek, modern downtown that feels like it's aiming for the future. It's a city that's been destroyed and rebuilt, literally. During World War II, most of it was leveled and reconstructed, brick by brick. What stood out to me this time wasn't the architecture or the history. It was the way the people carry themselves. Watching them move through the city, there's a certain grace in the way they walk, a quiet confidence in how they hold their gaze. It's like they're aware of where they come from, but aren't weighed down by it. There's a charm in that kind of resilience. So 2 cities, 2 versions of me. In Amsterdam, I wandered through familiar streets with a different perspective, noticing what I once overlooked, seeing the city's calm, steady rhythm, and the quiet boldness that lies beneath it. In Warsaw, I returned to a place that once felt intimidating and unfamiliar. Now, it feels like a city that's both strong and soft, a place that's rebuilt itself without losing its character. Revisiting these places felt like meeting my past self. It wasn't about seeing what's changed, but about noticing what I missed the first time. Amsterdam is still moving, calm, unhurried, but with an edge that invites you to look closer. A city that doesn't demand your attention, but still leaves a lasting impression. And Warsaw is still standing, a city that's carried its history forward, a reminder that building isn't about erasing what came before, but about finding strength in what remains. Maybe that's what these cities teach you, that some places don't change. They just wait for you to see them differently.